Hi guys, I want to do a video. Got my nice soft blankie. Good morning. It's early morning here. I'm watching one of my favorite autism speaking channels where she doesn't do sort of like my style of videos. She does more, she teaches me about my own autism because you can't read yourself well. None of us can. It's a known thing in psychology. Okay, there's 4 squares, and there's things we know about ourselves for sure. There's things that we kind of know about ourselves subconsciously. Then there's a box where it says we don't know anything about ourselves because it has to come from other people looking at us. And then there's another box which is we kind of know about ourselves, but we don't always like, how to explain, I've forgotten the theories of how to explain it in layman's terms, but basically there's another box where you are sometimes aware and sometimes not. So you kind of go in and out of it, right? So you sometimes go, oh yeah, you know, I'm really like, oh, that's right, yeah, I've got this learning disability. That's why I'm struggling with this activity right now. Whereas other times you can forget. I'm not kidding. Like, I have dyslexia and I can forget that I have dyslexia. It's a thing, right? Because you're just getting on with life. But anyway, that's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is this competition in who's more autistic. It happens in being a physically ill person, it happens in every disability, in every, I guess, like ongoing disability, sickness, illness, syndrome, disorder. It happens in all of them. There is always a group of people that insist on competing. Mine's worse than yours. And you know, I've never understood this. And that's kind of an autistic superpower. I don't compare myself to others. I don't compare them to other people, like other people to other people. I don't judge people on what they, look like, on what they believe in. I judge them on how they treat others and how they treat me. But anyway, the topic here is some people don't believe that those of us with autism that appear, and I say appear because there is a deception here, it's like an optical illusion. We're very good at it. Yes, baby. That's my kitten. So, we're very good at masking. We've also done our homework, like literally therapies and stuff. We've worked really hard to be who we are. And it makes me sad. Just because you grew up and you leveled up, because everybody levels up. Everybody levels up. And if someone doesn't level up as much as another person, sure, you have a right to feel disappointed, sure. But don't devalue someone else's autism story just because, for whatever reason, whether it was environment, whether it was just their personality is so determined, whether they cared about changing the autism or not. Because you know what? I absolutely respect people that go, you know what? I don't want to change too much of my autism. I respect that. And I think we should, going forward with autism, respect what an autistic person wants to be. Of course, we have to be a functioning human to a certain degree, and there's needs that have to be met, and we have to learn things. I'm not talking about, hey, yeah, like don't give your kid any therapy, and I'm not talking like that at all. I'm just saying, like, when you get to adulthood and you've hit your peak and you know what it's taken to get there, and then someone comes along and says, but you're not struggling, so I can't see it today. And you sit there and you just go, yeah, I remember not talking. for 11, years of my life. And not being able to communicate well, even if I did. Like, I didn't have the sophisticated words. 2 seconds, gotta check the kitten. Sorry, guys. All sorted. They're playing together, but being a bit cheeky. Just ignore the noises. That's them being cheeky. So, I remember being at school, and in my day, autism wasn't in my country, in my day. That's my air mattress. I'm so sorry. In my day, in my country, autism wasn't picked up in girls. And I had to go through a lot. And to say that basically I'm not autistic because I don't look like it today. The way that makes me feel when I've worked so hard in special education, when I've had to study TV. Oh, is that what you say when this kind of party's happening? Oh, that's how you introduce yourself. I might try that. Instead of out in the street playing with kids. When you have meltdowns that you know you're not in control of, and you get punished for it because your parent doesn't know that you're autistic. When you couldn't read and write and you're sitting there in a circle just staring at the grass because you know that it's about to be your turn and you're 11 years old and you're about to read a paragraph out of a book. Oi, stop being rough, play, gentle. You know it's your turn. Oh, we're getting, okay, stop. And you're getting really stressed. No one's there to save you. It's just an activity your teacher decided to do because it's a nice day. And you sit there. And you start trying to read. You can't. And you're 11. And everyone starts laughing. And the time when I wet myself when I was 11 years old standing in a classroom. And you want to say I'm not autistic. When I didn't know, and I ended up in hospital because I wasn't eating and drinking. I wasn't drinking. It got to the point when I had to monitor my drinking. I had to stand at the sink, dyspraxia. I couldn't manage a glass. If I had a glass in my hand of fluids, it was a bomb. No one trusted me, understandably. But I had to stand at the sink every half an hour and have so much fluid. While every other kid's playing. But I've got to do all these extra things. That I had to stay up till midnight because I couldn't sleep because I have also ADHD. When I would be at school and I would do my OCD behaviours of doing a certain weird thing and other kids going, what's wrong with you? And you're non-verbal, you don't even know what's wrong with you, you just know something's wrong with you. And you're embarrassed and you get picked on and you get laughed at. And you say, I don't have autism. And you say, well, you've achieved all these things. I went to school finishing with a year 7 level of education here. I got a tutor for myself. Then I went to TAFE. I did a bridging course. At that bridging course, yeah, because I was still autistic and obviously didn't read social cues. And I was the kind of kid that was friends with everyone. You know, I don't judge, right? Like I said. And at the graduation, I was wearing all white. I don't know what for, but I just was. It's just that's what I chose to wear. And a girl spilt a glass of water all over me, and I didn't understand why. until the lecturer actually told me why. I said, oh, that's nasty. She's like, yeah, really sorry. And they stepped in. And I'm in my 20s. And you say I'm not autistic. All these things that have happened to me, I didn't ask for those things. Most people wouldn't let that happen to them because they read social cues. I've had so many people say, don't you get it? Can't you read between the lines? No, I can't. No, I can't read between the lines. And then I get to, you know, even in the bridging course, just being laughed at because I want to go to university. Ha ha ha. It's so funny. And having to sit alone. Even at TAFE as an adult, I had to sit and eat my lunch alone because I'm autistic. I couldn't fit in. Again. But anyway, I wasn't there for that. I was there for knowledge. And then I get to do a couple of certificates. And then I get through a diploma in my workplace. Workplace was the best place for me to be. They didn't pick on me. And then to get to university. Now, I was laughed at, and it was lovingly. Trust me, it was, because they weren't laughing at me, they were laughing with me, but it still hurts. Because I'm still different. Still stand out. I don't just fit. And all I want to talk about is the work, the psychology, the current essays, the current units. And they don't. They tolerated it well. And I appreciate that. But sometimes there was eye rolling and it hurts. Because I am a dork. Because I am autistic. And I was hyper-focused on one thing, and that was just my psychology. I didn't know how to do the social stuff. They were just nice people trying to help me out because they did enjoy my company. Thank goodness. But you say I'm not autistic. I couldn't communicate well. I couldn't socialize. I wasn't sophisticated in managing situations. You know, I had to ask other people all the time, what are you doing? Okay, what are we doing now? What did she just say? Like, so many things. And I didn't have a support person sitting next to me like current people get. And I'm not saying they don't deserve it. You get that support, everybody. But I didn't have that. My own mother didn't even believe that I could do university when I told her. You're too stupid. Why are you doing this to yourself? But despite that, my own brother called me a retard for most of my life. Because he's right. In the old days, autism was called retardation. We all know that, right? But I'm not autistic. So before you want to say that a high-functioning person isn't autistic, I want you to think about what I've just said now. Because that is autism. And that is a tough life. And I'm still living that tough life. You think I can go fit in with peers that are like I am, nearly turning 50 this year? You think that I can go sit with a bunch of 50-year-old ladies and you think that I can socially engineer that? Really? Really? You've heard me? You've seen me? Really? Yeah, I have children. Because I have a very patient, and what Tony Atwood would say is, a perfect partner for an autistic. We met when we were young. My children outgrew me. Because my mental age is different. That happens to a lot of autistics. I have 22q, probably the reason for my autism and ADHD. And you think that I'm not autistic, not affected by autism? My family's still ashamed of me because of all those behaviours, and there's more of autistic behaviours. That was just, that child is not acting like other children, and in my family, disability was embarrassing. Well, I'm embarrassed of my family, let's just put it that way. But next time you want to say you're high functioning, you have not suffered what my child suffered. I have sat in special education going over one math problem thing for over an hour, one-on-one, and have cried in frustration because I can't get it. I feel stupid. I have been in high school where I couldn't speak properly because I've got a speech impediment, and it was bad. Where I've got everyone around me telling me, oh, you know, you're in high school now, and oh, this and that, and I had no understanding of how to manage being a teenager because I really mentally wasn't. Looking at your mother and knowing that you're not the daughter she wanted. But you like yourself, because I'm not ashamed of myself, my autism, who I am. But you know that your mother is looking at you like, continually telling you how much your other people you sometimes play with are so cool. Because they're not autistic. That's why. I know it. I'm not stupid. I didn't wear the pretty dresses she wanted me to because sensory, whatever. So if you want to say I'm not autistic, then what's that? That is autism. And I have been formally diagnosed with autism. Properly. Okay? DSM. Hours of conversations. I'm autistic. That's why I had all those struggles. And shame on anyone that thinks that I'm a joke, that they want to put other names in like my brother did. That's not okay. Now, I don't blame him, okay, because he was a child. So let's just get that straight. And it was a different era. I mean, it's not nice. And it kind of backs up how he treats me now. Yeah. But I don't blame my brother because I just don't. He was a child. We had a close relationship for a pocket of time too. And it's complex. And I love my brother, so don't take that the wrong way. But I'm just saying, next time you want to say to someone, you're high functioning, you've done this and this and this, you think it's easy? You think it's easy to have to go to a university friend and ask a question and them laugh at you? Just because I got the good grades doesn't mean I didn't still have 3 learning disabilities. And that I didn't get everything wrong, and I spent and was laughed at for this when we were handing in our 5 question for statistics unit. Research methods, right? 5 questions I handed in, which I had to do every week, and it was part of 10% of your unit. And they said, oh, how'd you go? And I said, oh, 7 hours. 7 hours. And they're like, oh my God, laughing at me. Yeah. That's intellectual disability, guys, and that's connected to autism. And I was an adult. I still struggle now to understand certain concepts, certain speech types. I have to clarify, what did you just say? Like, I didn't hear that properly. Like, I can't make sense. I heard the words, but I can't. Sometimes I don't ask because it's just too embarrassing. But next time you want to say that people like me are not autistic, there's many delays and many more that I could talk for hours about my childhood, my teenagehood, my adulthood, whatever, but I think that's enough to sort of explain what I'm getting at here. Don't tell people they're not autistic just because you perceive them. Just because either they appear not autistic or they're so close to looking normal, just be normal. It's not how it works. There's no cure for autism, and I'm not ashamed. And if you are, shame on you, to be honest. There's nothing wrong with autism. Yes, it is a disability, and yes, it is tough, and yes, those autism parents that put their heart and soul deserve a goddamn medal, absolutely. They need support, the children, the parents, everybody. They need support, they need the right assistance, they need everything. They deserve the world. But I do not like this competition of who's autistic and who's not, and what's this and what about that, and but you could do this and you could do that. You don't know how I get to that, because I certainly don't get there normal. And you are just basically, when you say, if you're saying to someone like of my level of looking autism, because you don't know how it feels in my brain, you're just looking at the outside and how I present myself, the mask, right? When you say you're not really, you're just neuro different, what you're saying is that all that hard work to learn that speaking to yourself is not normal, which autistic kids do, or, you know, the echolalia basically I'm referring to there, if you really want to know, just the weird behaviors we do that we know we're being judged for, even as children. We see friends of our parents or family, we see our family go, how's she going to go in life? Because look how she's acting. Being called a retard and stupid by your family that you live with every day. That you work harder than everybody else. That you sit there in special ed with your blocks to do mathematics and you're just so frustrated. And yet you go back to class and you've got friends that do pretty writing and get to do maths with the normal teacher. It just makes me sad that you really think that we're that high functioning. We've worked hard to mask and to learn the skills we did learn, just like your child or your person you might be referring to. You know how hard they've worked. And even if their level is lower, higher, whatever, they've worked hard. It's the same working hard that comes from here. It's the same effort. We deserve to be high-fived too.